Let's see. There we go. We are live. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Hello and welcome to tizoguitar. My name is Tyler. I go by Tizo, and this channel is all about learning guitar with a special focus on R&B music. This is not my usual time for doing streams, but I wasn't able to do my usual stream on Saturday, so this is kind of a little quick makeup stream, kind of, not really. I plan on getting back to the Intro to Soloing series that we were doing, and that'll probably be happening on Saturday the 22nd, sometime around noon Eastern time. But until then, why don't we go ahead and learn this song? So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the tab just so we can kind of take a quick look at what's going on, and then I'll show you the chords and how to play it. So first, let's take a look at Guitar Pro. So this tab I'll probably throw up on Patreon shortly after this stream ends. But in general, all we have are 4 chords. So we're going to be in the key of, this would be B flat. We're in the key of B flat. 2 flats here means we're in the key of B flat major, otherwise known as G minor. We're going to start off on an E flat major 7. We're going to go over to an F7, onto the B flat major 7, and then end on a G minor 7. It's just 4 chords for the entire song. So the E flat major 7 would be the 4 chord, F7 would be the 5 chord, B flat major 7 would be the 1 chord, and G minor 7 would be the 6 chord. So that's all number system in the key of B flat major. So it's definitely good to learn that if you're going to be a guitarist, or even if you're just a hobbyist. It's really good to know the number system to get around and learn progressions quickly. All right, enough of that tab. If you want that, it'll be on my Patreon page, patreon.com/tizoguitar. All right, let's take a look at just what it sounds like. So the guitar part really starts around the pre-chorus for this particular song. Starting off on that E flat major 7, we're going to be that sequence is going to repeat 2 times. So let's take a closer look at those chords so you know exactly what I'm playing. All right, the first chord, E flat major 7. So just like the diagram shows, we're barring with our index finger on the 6th fret from the A string down. Okay. We have our ring finger on fret 8 of the D string. We have our middle finger on fret 7 of the G string. And our pinky is on fret 8 of the B string. All right. Then we go on to our F7, slide down to the 8th fret with our bar finger. Ring finger is going to be on the 10th fret of the D string. Pinky is going to be on the 10th fret of the B string. So it's almost like that first chord shape that we did, but we're just lifting our middle finger off. All right, it should sound like this. All right, next chord, B flat major 7, the 1 chord. Index finger is going to go on the 6th fret of the low E string. Ring finger is going to go on the 7th fret of the D string. Pinky goes on the 7th fret of the G string. Middle finger goes on the 6th fret of the B string. That's our B flat major 7. And our final chord, the graphic is incorrect, so let me fix that. It's not a D7. It's going to be a G minor 7. Let's get rid of that box. All right, so G minor 7, I opt to play the G minor 7 with my thumb over. If you don't want to do that, you can always just bar all the way across the fretboard and just remember to skip that A string. All right, but I like to do it this way. It's just a force of habit because I'm used to doing hammer-ons, having easy access to those pentatonic things. But in any case, we're playing everything except for the A string on the, not the 5th fret, look at this. Catching more mistakes. It's going to be on the 3rd fret. Late night streams, y'all. Alrighty. G minor 7 on fret 3. Okay, so the actual picking pattern, and I'll leave these chord shapes up just for a little bit longer. The actual picking pattern, all we're doing is really arpeggiating these chords, which is just a fancy word for playing them one string at a time. So we're going to do just the inside 4 strings for the E flat major 7. All right, don't worry about playing that high E string just yet. Move on to the F7, same thing. B flat major 7, same thing. So instead of playing the inside 4 strings, you're playing the low E string, and then you're playing the D, G, and B string. So you're skipping that A string. But same kind of like picking pattern. Then we're going to go to the G minor 7, same thing. That sequence repeats one more time. And that whole thing is going on during the pre-chorus in the actual track. The next thing we're going to be doing, it gets even easier than that. Once we actually hit the chorus, you start singing Let Me Go. We're only going to be playing whole notes, just basically strumming the chord out, holding it for 4 counts each, moving on. And it repeats. So while I'm actually playing that, I'm counting in my head 4 counts each. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So holding it for that 4 count is what makes it a whole note when you're playing that chord. And the thing to notice that's going to be different when you're actually playing the whole notes and you're holding that chord each time you switch, you are going to play that high E string. So try to keep that involved. Except for the 3rd chord, because that chord doesn't involve the high E string. And then the G minor 7. I did notice in the track, he does happen to, or whoever's playing guitar, happens to play the high E string on the parts where it's just 1 strum. But when he's doing the arpeggiating, we're stopping at the B string. All right. And it's pretty much that. So 2 cycles of all the way through, and then 2 cycles of just playing strumming. So super easy song. Thought it was really cool, just because I don't have a lot of songs that I practice that have vibrato, which is that effect that you're hearing, that waving of the is it the volume or the pitch? It's the volume. Waving of the volume. So it's like a tremolo effect or a vibrato effect. To get that sound, I'm using let's turn that off. I am using my Helix. I use my Helix for all of my amp and effect simulations. But if I pull up, not this, but if I pull up HX Edit, you can see barely that I have here, I'm using the bubble vibrato model, and I have it synced to quarter notes, and I have the tempo at 76 BPM. So that's the note sync, that's what's kind of giving it the timing of that fluctuation in volume, and then the mix is at 100%, so it's like the full-on effect of it. The mix would really control how much of just the plain guitar gets through versus the affected signal. So have that cranked. These settings are all default, but if you happen to have an effects pedal instead of a modeler like I do, I think I actually have a chorus pedal down here. Let's see. So I do have this one, it's super dusty. And this is the Donner Tootie. So you can see it has some, it has a basically a toggle switch that says deep versus normal. I guess deep would be more of the effect being applied, or maybe it's more geared towards the low end. I got to check that out to be sure. But then you have the depth, you have the rate. Rate would be the speed of that fluctuation, and then level would be kind of like how loud or how much of that mix is the affected signal versus the playing guitar. So I haven't used this pedal in a good while, but it was pretty good to me when I needed to use it. Just the Helix is so much simpler for putting everything together at this point. So that's about it. I will take a quick look at the chat just in case we had any questions. Doesn't seem so, because it's pretty late on a Sunday. So I think with that, we'll call it a wrap. Next week or next Saturday, we'll get back to the regular live streams, hopefully around noon Eastern, and that is the 22nd. So thank you so much for watching. If any of this stuff was confusing for you, or any of this stuff you need more time to learn it, that's completely fine. Don't feel like you have to rush. Take your time with it, internalize it. You'll be able to play it forever once you put that time into practice. And I do teach private lessons if you're interested. If you want to, drop me a line at tizoguitar, excuse me, tizoguitar@gmail.com. Tizoguitar, just like the name of the channel, @gmail.com. Just send me an email, say, hey, I'm interested in lessons, and I will send you some information. So thank you so much. Till next time, take care.